Quick, right now, stop drinking alcohol. Stop scrolling before bed. Stop eating sugar. Just stop. How's that working? Here's why it doesn't. Your brain wasn't designed to subtract behaviors. It was designed to replace them. The Japanese figured this out centuries ago with a philosophy so subtle, it sounds like cheating. Kaizen. It means you don't fight the habit. You don't wrestle the dragon. You shrink it so small, it forgets it's supposed to hurt you. Today, I'm teaching you how to make bad habits irrelevant. Now listen, you've been lied to about how change works. Every single program out there, every guru, every transformation challenge tells you the same thing. Go big, go hard, make radical commitments, draw a line in the sand, declare who you're going to become, burn the ships, go all in. And that sounds inspiring, doesn't it? It sounds powerful. And that's exactly why you relapse within a week. Because your brain doesn't trust dramatic change. Your nervous system doesn't believe in overnight transformations. And deep down, neither do you, because you've tried it and it hasn't worked. This video is going to reveal something the Japanese have known for decades, something that rebuilt an entire economy from ashes, and something that's going to completely reframe how you think about your worst habits. The Kaizen secret is this: bad habits don't need to be broken. They need to be made obsolete. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means and exactly how to do it. You're going to learn why resistance isn't your enemy, it's information. Why your brain fights you when you try to change too fast. And the specific micro steps, so small they feel like nothing, that compound into complete transformation. This isn't another motivational pump-up session where I'm going to get you all excited and then you're going to crash in 3 days. This is a psychological engineering manual for people who are tired of failing heroically. So let me take you back to post-war Japan. It's the 1950s. The country is in ruins. Cities have been destroyed. The industrial infrastructure is broken. And Toyota, one of the factories trying to rebuild, is looking at American automotive giants like General Motors and Ford and thinking, how do we possibly compete? The traditional Western approach at the time was something called total quality control. The idea was identify every flaw, fix everything at once, implement sweeping systemic changes, revolutionize the entire operation. Big, bold, dramatic. But here's what the American consultants didn't understand. Japanese workers had just survived apocalyptic trauma. They'd lived through war, through bombings, through the complete collapse of everything they knew. The idea of more massive, disruptive change didn't inspire them. It terrified them. It paralyzed them. So there's this engineer, his name is Taiichi Ono, and he's standing on the factory floor watching these exhausted, demoralized workers, and he has what I can only describe as a moment of radical empathy. He thinks, what if we don't ask them to revolutionize anything? What if we don't ask for courage or heroism or dramatic commitment? What if we ask for something so small it doesn't even register as change? And so he proposes this idea to management. What if every worker at the end of every shift suggests one tiny improvement? Not a big one, not a brilliant one. Just one tiny thing they noticed that could be slightly better. A bolt that could turn easier, a tool that could be placed 3 inches closer to where it's needed, a process that could be shortened by 5 seconds. Just one tiny thing. And management says, okay, but we make a promise. No criticism. No punishment for speaking up. No judgment. No performance reviews based on the quality of your suggestions. We just want you to notice and suggest. That's it. And here's what happens. Workers start participating not because they feel motivated, not because they're inspired, not because they believe in some grand vision of the future, but because the ask is so small, it doesn't trigger resistance. It doesn't activate the part of their brain that says, this is dangerous. This is too much. I can't do this. I'm going to fail. A suggestion here, a tweak there, a tiny adjustment, and then another one, and another one. And those tweaks start to compound. Within months, productivity begins to climb. Within years, Toyota becomes the model that the entire world studies. They invent just-in-time manufacturing. They create quality systems that American companies fly across the ocean to learn from. And the secret wasn't dramatic transformation. The secret wasn't finding superhuman workers or some magical leadership technique. The secret was psychological safety plus relentless incrementalism. They called it Kaizen, continuous improvement. And it doesn't just work on factories, it works on you. Because your bad habit, my friend, is your factory floor. You've been trying the American approach. Total overhaul, cold turkey, dramatic declarations, burning bridges, going all in. Starting Monday, I'm a new person. I'm never doing this again. This is the last time. And like those post-war workers, your brain is exhausted. It's traumatized from all the past failures. It doesn't trust big change anymore. Every time you make a grand declaration, part of your nervous system goes, "Oh, here we go again." This is the part where we fail and feel terrible about ourselves. But Kaizen whispers something different. Kaizen says, what if you changed so slowly your fear didn't wake up? What if you moved so gently your resistance didn't activate? What if transformation happened so quietly you didn't even notice until it was done? Let me show you what this looks like in a real human life. I want you to imagine someone. Let's call her Jessica, 42 years old. She smoked a pack a day for 23 years. I want you to feel the weight of that. 23 years. More than 8,000 days of lighting a cigarette. That's not a habit anymore. That's an identity. That's who she is. She's tried quitting 11 times. Patches that made her skin itch. Nicotine gum that tasted like poison. Hypnosis where she sat in a room with strangers listening to someone tell her she didn't want cigarettes anymore, except she did. Cold turkey attempts where she made it 3 days and then crumbled. Support groups where everyone shared their day counts, and she felt like a failure because she couldn't get past week 1. 11 attempts, 11 failures, and by attempt 12, she's convinced she's fundamentally broken. She thinks her brain is just wired for nicotine. She thinks she's going to die with a cigarette in her hand, and that's just her destiny. Then, someone introduces her to Kaizen, not as a quitting method. That's important. Not as another program or system or transformation challenge. Just as a curiosity experiment. And the instruction is so simple it sounds ridiculous. Don't quit. Don't even try to quit. Just delay your first cigarette of the day by 2 minutes. That's all. After 2 minutes, smoke as much as you want. Smoke the whole pack if you need to. Just give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Not 2 weeks. Not 2 months. 2 minutes. And Jessica agrees because it feels like no commitment at all. It feels so easy it can't possibly matter. So first morning, she wakes up, she wants a cigarette. That craving hits her like it has for 23 years, but she waits. She sets a timer on her phone, 2 minutes. She makes coffee. She stands by the window. The timer goes off. She smokes, no drama, no resistance, no willpower required because nothing was taken away. Second morning, same thing. Day 3, 4, 5. Every morning, 2-minute delay, then smoke. And by day 5, something strange happens. The 2-minute wait starts to feel automatic. Her brain isn't fighting because nothing's being taken away. The cigarette is still coming. It's just slightly postponed. And her nervous system relaxes. Week 2, she increases to 5 minutes. Still smoking a pack a day. Still feeling like a smoker. Still lighting up whenever she wants after that initial delay. But the pattern is shifting imperceptibly, like a tectonic plate moving 1 millimeter per year. You can't see it happening, but it's happening. Month 2, 15-minute delay. And she starts noticing something she didn't expect. During that 15 minutes, she gets distracted. She starts doing things. She feeds the cat, she checks her email, she waters a plant. And sometimes, not every time, but sometimes, she forgets she wanted the cigarette. The craving passes, not because she fought it, not because she used some technique, simply because her attention moved and the moment dissolved. Month 4, 30-minute delay. And her morning cigarette count drops from 5 to 3 without her consciously trying, because that first cigarette of the day was always the trigger for the second and third. It was the dominoes, but now the dominoes are spaced out. The automatic chain is interrupted. Her brain is slowly, quietly, gently rewiring the wake up equals smoke pathway because the connection is being consistently, patiently interrupted. Month 6. She delays by an hour. And here's where it gets really interesting. She starts feeling like a person who sometimes smokes rather than a smoker who sometimes doesn't smoke. Do you see the difference? The identity shift is so subtle, she doesn't even notice it until her sister visits and says, "You seem different. Are you okay?" And Jessica realizes she hasn't thought about cigarettes in 3 hours. That hasn't happened in 2 decades. By month 9, she's down to 3 cigarettes a day. By month 12, some days she just forgets. Not through willpower, not through white knuckling, through irrelevance. The habit dissolved because it became less and less central to her sense of self, to her daily rhythm, to her nervous system's idea of what normal feels like. So, what actually happened here? How did this work? Her brain had built a neural superhighway for smoking. 23 years of repetition. Every single morning. Wake up, crave cigarette, light cigarette, feel relief. That pathway was so strong, so automatic, so deeply carved into her neurology that trying to stop it with willpower was like standing in the middle of a highway, trying to stop traffic with your bare hands. You will lose that fight every single time. But Kaizen doesn't ask you to block the highway. It asks you to build a new road next to it. A tiny dirt path at first. So small your brain doesn't see it as a threat. And every time you take that path, every time you delay by 2 minutes, then 5, then 15, you're strengthening that new neural pathway. You're paving that dirt road. And simultaneously, the old highway is getting less traffic. Neurons that fire together wire together, and neurons that stop firing together stop wiring together. The old pathway slowly falls into disrepair, not because you destroyed it, but because you stopped using it. Did it work because Jessica was special? No. Did it work perfectly every single day? Also no. Some mornings she didn't delay at all. Some weeks she regressed back to shorter delays. Some days she smoked more, not less. But here's what Kaizen understands that every other method doesn't. Perfection isn't the goal. Direction is the goal. 1 degree north, held over time, eventually gets you to a different continent. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistently, gently, patiently pointing in the right direction. So, let me break down the core principles that make this work, because you need to understand these at a cellular level if you're going to apply them to your own life. First principle: resistance is information, not your enemy. When you feel resistance to change, when your whole body tightens up and says, "I don't want to do this," that's not weakness. That's not your broken willpower. That's your brain's threat detection system saying, "This feels unsafe. This feels like too much. I don't trust this." And most change methods ignore that signal or try to override it with motivation. But motivation is a terrible opponent to a threat response. Kaizen removes the threat entirely. It makes change so small, your amygdala doesn't activate. You slip past your own defenses because there's nothing to defend against. Second principle: replacement beats elimination every time. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you just remove a habit without understanding what need it was serving, without replacing that function, your brain will resurrect the habit the first moment it gets stressed or scared or lonely, because that habit was solving a problem. It was filling a hole. Maybe it was numbing anxiety. Maybe it was creating a sense of control. Maybe it was providing comfort or connection or distraction. Kaizen asks a different question. What need does this habit serve? And then it builds a micro alternative that serves that need better, gentler, more sustainably. Third principle: identity lags behavior by design. You don't need to become someone who doesn't do the habit. You don't need to adopt a new identity or declare yourself transformed. You just need to do the habit slightly less, slightly differently, slightly later. An identity catches up later, quietly, without you forcing it. Jessica didn't wake up one day and decide, I'm a non-smoker now. She woke up one day and realized she'd forgotten to smoke, and it didn't bother her. The identity shift happened in the background while she was busy delaying by 2 minutes. Fourth principle. The compound curve is invisible until it's not. 1% better per day feels like nothing. It feels so small, you wonder if you're even changing at all. After 30 days, you're still basically the same person. After 60 days, you might not notice any difference. But after a year, you're 37 times better. That's not motivational math. That's actual exponential growth. But most people quit in the invisible zone. They quit in month 2 when they can't see results yet. They quit before compounding kicks in. And here's the paradox I need you to really sit with. The fastest way to change is to move so slowly you don't feel like you're changing at all. So let me give you 3 micro steps you can start today, right now, with whatever habit you're struggling with. Step 1. Choose your target moment. Don't try to eliminate the entire habit. Don't even think about the outcome yet. Just identify the exact moment the habit begins. The trigger point. For doom scrolling, it's the moment your hand reaches for your phone. For overeating, it's the moment you open the pantry or the fridge without a plan. For procrastination, it's the moment you feel that spike of work anxiety and your body starts scanning for an escape. Name that moment. Get specific. Write it down if you need to. That moment is your intervention point. Step 2. Insert a 2-minute delay. Between the trigger and the behavior, add the smallest possible pause. And I mean smallest. This is not go for a walk or meditate for 10 minutes or call a friend. This is take 3 deep breaths, drink a glass of water, walk to the window and look outside for 30 seconds. Something so tiny it requires almost no willpower. Your only job is to delay gratification by 120 seconds. You're not denying yourself. You're not replacing the habit yet. You're just introducing the tiniest space between impulse and action. Do nothing else differently. If after 2 minutes you still want to do the habit, do it. No judgment, no shame. The point isn't to stop. The point is to interrupt the automaticity. Step 3. Track direction, not perfection. Get a calendar. Physical or digital, doesn't matter. Mark an X every day you attempted the delay. Notice I said attempted, not succeeded. Even if you delayed for 30 seconds and then did the habit anyway, that's an X. You're not tracking success. You're tracking engagement with the practice. 3 X's per week is enough. You're not trying to build a streak. Streaks create pressure, and pressure creates resistance. You're building a new neural road, and roads don't care if you take a day off. They just care that you keep coming back. And here's the critical reminder. If you miss a day, the system doesn't reset. Kaizen has no streaks. It has no all or nothing rules. It has no starting over from zero. You just return. Again. 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 The direction is the destination. As long as you're generally, gently, consistently moving toward less reactivity, toward more space, toward more choice, you're winning. You came here looking for a way to destroy your bad habit. I hope you're leaving with something better. Permission to change so slowly it feels like kindness. The Kaizen philosophy isn't about becoming someone new overnight. It's not about the dramatic moment where you declare yourself transformed and everyone applauds. It's about becoming someone new, so gradually you don't scare yourself back into old patterns. It's about respecting your nervous system enough to move at the speed of safety. You've learned that your brain isn't sabotaging you, it's protecting you. And the only way past that protection is to prove, through tiny consistent action, repeated over time, that change doesn't mean danger. You've learned that the habits you hate most aren't character flaws. They're solutions to problems you've forgotten you had. And solutions don't break through force. They just get replaced by better solutions, one microscopic upgrade at a time. So here's what I want you to carry forward. Here's the mantra I want you to whisper to yourself when you feel frustrated that change isn't happening fast enough. I am not broken. I am not weak. I am a system updating itself one invisible degree at a time. If this approach feels like relief, if it feels like finally someone's telling you the truth about how hard change actually is and giving you a strategy that respects that difficulty, let me know in the comments. Tell me which habit you're going to Kaizen. Tell me what your 2-minute delay is going to be. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're working on. And if you want more of this, the honest, human, structurally sound approach to transformation, the kind that doesn't require you to be superhuman or perfect or fearless, subscribe. Not because you need fixing, but because you deserve strategies that respect how beautifully, frustratingly, wonderfully complex you actually are. You're not failing at change. You've just been trying to sprint a marathon. Now, you can walk. And walking gets you there just as surely. It just doesn't look as dramatic, but it works. And in the end, working is all that matters.